What's going on, guys? And today I'm bringing you my full review of the video game called Fuse, developed by Insomniac Games. Now today I'm bringing you this because I decided to pick this game out to see whether or not it's, if it was pretty good or not. So, not that I got that out of the way, let me get started with my review. Now there's certain sections that I do with my reviews. I give a little brief story about the game, what's it about, without even spoiling too much about it. Then I move on to the graphics, whether they're sucky, whether they're good, sharp, all that. That's what I do. And I move on to the next section, will be the sound and the soundtrack, whether it's good or not, where it's like, it's okay, mediocre sound. And then I move on to the controls, whether you be frustrated, like, oh, these are complicated controls, or these are very simple controls. And then I'll be moving on towards my likes and my dislikes, and finally the rating of the video game. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. Now the story begins with these four agents are known as Overstrike. They have what do you call Naya, who's like the kind of like the sneaky assassin ish. You got Dalton, who's like the sarcastic mercenary. He's kind of like the brute force, funny guy too. And there's the crazy smart chick called Izzy, and then there's the ex police force agent called Jacob. And these guys are on the mission working. They got a job from the government. They're working for them, and they're out to start the corporation called Raven from using the power of an alien substance called Fuse. And that's pretty much it about it, without spoiling anything. Like, these guys do the missions, they go from one place to another, try to figure out what's going on with this, why do these guys have it, and how did they find it, stuff like that. And that's pretty much it about the story, without spoiling it too much. Because if it did spoil it, then that would pretty much suck. Now moving on to the next section will be about the graphics. The graphics in this game are actually pretty good. The environment looks great. The soldiers look good. The characters look pretty good. I'm gonna say the graphics, the explosions, the characters, how the animations, they're pretty good. And for Sonic, because in Sonic, they're the makers of the Dead Space. Dead Space looks pretty much fantastic, and it looks like they got their skills work together and they put this on game, and it looks pretty good. I gotta say, it looks pretty good. Now, moving on towards the next section will be with the sound and the soundtrack. Now, actually, this game has pretty good with a pretty good, nice soundtrack. It's not a lot, but it's like I kind of noticed it. Like a lot of them are repeating. The music's repeating, but nonetheless, it still goes with the environment. It's like if you're in like some underground base, and they use the same music, and they have pretty good sound effects for the guns and everything like that, which is pretty damn awesome. Especially when you're in the fights, and it kind of goes with it. Like it sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good. Now, moving on towards the controls. The controls are actually pretty simple to figure it out. This is to shoot, this is to use your second alternative weapon, this is to melee, this is to evade, this is to go to covered, and you press this button, you switch between cover and cover. And it's pretty simple. They explain it very easily, and I had no trouble getting used to the controls. They were pretty much simple to get used to, like kind of like a lot of third-party shooters. No, third person, not third party, third person shooters. It gets pretty easy to use. Now, moving on towards this other section called my likes. What do I like about this game? What I like about this game is the cover system and the combat system. It's really, really good. They did a great job with the combat system and the blind fire, like open, like shooting, go back to cover, shooting back to shooting, throwing back grenades, stuff like that. They actually did a pretty damn good job on this whole cover and battle system. Now, also, what is really which is awesome to the max, is fused weapons that these characters acquire. Like, for example, Dalton has what do you call it? A mag shield, which is basically an energy shield, but which blocks and absorbs like the bullets and all this like grenades and everything like that. and
These guys seem more like fanatics
basically
than
it's like they
soldiers.
could shoot them
Oculus,
back.
are you getting
They
this?
could shoot back a
I
little
hear
nice
it.
little force way to
It's
push
weird.
back enemies, and it's
Nothing much to get
nice.
on my
It's
end.
mainly for defense, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. Now
There's the platform.
Naya, she has a pretty awesome a gun. She has a, what do you call it? A warp gun, I think, or a warp rifle, or something like that. It's something warp. Basically, it shoots, and with enough energy, it creates a mini black hole which sucks the enemies nearby. And you could do like a chain reaction if you tag each soldiers, so another black hole will create, and it's like a massive bunch of black holes created, and it sucks the enemies out, which is pretty damn cool. Izzy has a, what do you call it? A crystal, a gun that shoots like crystals, and when you shoot enough crystals, they basically turn to a crystal soldier, like not like they crystallize. There you go. They crystallize, and it can spread around enemy soldiers, and you keep shooting, they all break apart, which is like, oh, that's pretty awesome. Jacob has, which was probably one of my favorite, probably number two, fused weapons. Jacob has the it's kind of like a bow, it's like crossbows kind of stuff gun. It's called the, what do you call it, like arc shot, something, arc shot. And basically it's a fire. It's basically almost like a one-hit kill, depending on where you hit the enemy. But it, maybe 9 out of 10, it will get like a. All depends. If it's like a machine, then it's not gonna get a one-hit kill. But if it's like a person, then it's gonna get a one-hit kill. It basically burns them alive or stuff. It's pretty awesome. Like, whoa! It's like almost like a sniper rifle as well. And that's just pretty cool. Another thing that I like about this game is that you can easily switch between characters, between Naya, between Jacob, all seamlessly. And just like this one's low on health, just switch and you're pretty much good to go. You have plenty of ammo on this one, but the other player doesn't. And that's pretty much the what do you call it? Well, that's pretty much how it is, which can be a little bit. I'll explain later how frustrating it can be, especially with that. The AI in this game is actually pretty good in a way, and it's good and bad. It's like a double-edged sword. That's like one of the double-edged sword. That's like one of the perfect ways to explain the AI. They're very helpful. When you're down, those guys will, try to revive you. They'll block. They'll kill enemies, which is pretty damn good when it comes to like AI. Because in other words, you're pretty much doing all the work. But in this case, the AI really helps you a lot. They help you. They revive you. They give you like some health and stuff like that, which is pretty damn awesome. Now this game is mainly a co-op game. Well, you can play solo, but it's best to play this with co-op players, and it might take a little bit of time to match up with other players, but nonetheless it is fun, a lot of fun playing with other people. Alright, so now let's move on to the bad side, dislikes. I kind of didn't I kind of really didn't like the story in a way, because it didn't really explain what its views, where it's come from, where are the aliens. I thought we were gonna fight some aliens or some creatures or stuff like that, but that's not really the case. But Fuse doesn't really have that much of a backstory. It says, alright, you guys are doing this mission, and it goes forward from there. Not really from the well, what about Fuse? How did the humans get the Fuse? How did this happen? How did they create this? Stuff like that. But like a nice backstory. I mean, it is interesting, the story, but it's not like whoa. No, that's a pretty good story. The campaign is good, but the story can be a little bit better in my opinion. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, like I mentioned before, how the AI can be a double-edged sword. It's good and it's bad. Like, for example, when you're down, the AI will try to be a hero and revive you when he's being shot at so many times, or he'll take the longest route or something like that. Like, no, like, take cover first, let me get to you, and then you can revive me. But no, these guys try to get you, and then they get killed, and then the other AI tries to save us, and he or she gets killed, and then the last AI tries to come and save us, and he or she gets killed, and we all die. Stuff like that. I was like, oh, come on, let me just get to you. I'm already nearby, you don't have to like do this. But another, like, when I'm down, like I'm pretty far away from them and I get shot, I'm down, and the AI will try to find the longest route just to reach you or something. Like, you know, you can just climb this and that. Well, they're trying to be helpful, but you know, it ends up badly. Now, one of my biggest dislikes about this game, and it got me like, kind of got me frustrated. It's like, what the hell? Why can't I do that? And is, why can't I switch when I'm down? I can't switch. It's like, if you're down, you're pretty much in the hands of the AI, and if the AI is like, oh, I was trying to figure out the word. Anyway, if the AI is down, like I was saying before, the AI is down, the other AI will try to save you, and that AI will get down. You know, it's like, it's pretty much a death sentence. It's like in the beginning of the game, it will be fine, but once you reach like in the middle or 80% of the game, it's just forget it. You're down. That's it. Might as well restart the last checkpoint. It's pretty frustrating, and I get frustrated about that. I'm like, I can switch players easily when I'm fighting, but when I'm down, you're pretty much, you can't switch. I'm like, oh, come on. Why can I switch to revive, you know, myself or the other AI like that? Why can't I do that? Stuff like that. You know, it's like, I don't know. It did get frustrating when it comes to that. Now, that's not because to show like this game is fun. Now, I'm not gonna take away that. There were some, you know, little glitches here and there, and I had to like, oh, what the hell, what's going on? I thought I saved it here, but it didn't. There's a lot of climbing involved, but the climbing is pretty much well done. It's fast, you get to the spot easily. They use some animations repeatedly. There is a lot of, you have to wait for the players to come here. The AI does it, but if the player is, you know, I kind of didn't like that in a way, because if the player's being an ass, all the players are waiting for the guy to go up, but this guy's taking his sweet time, like, ooh, that's like that. You know, stuff like that, little things. But nonetheless, this game is a lot of fun, especially if you play with 4 other human players. Now with the AI, I mean, the AI is a little bit fun too as well. It's fun, but if you're gonna have a blast playing with AIs. You guys can use the cover system. You guys can level up together. You guys can, like, you know, be behind Dalton's on his mag shield, stuff like that. It's fun. You know, with my rating, you know, I gave it a 7 out of 10. It's a good game. That's all I'm gonna give it. It's a good game. It deserves like 1 thumbs up, and like, like 1 thumbs up. It's a good game. Gotta hand it to Insomniac Games. They did a nice job with this game. Hopefully they'll give a better backstory with the fuse and everything like that. That's pretty much it. Oh, and let me switch when I'm down. Sorry about that. When I'm freaking down. Oh man, I hope they do that if they're ever gonna continue this like part 2 of this game. Well, anyways, guys, that's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know about this game if you have it, if you're thinking about getting it. It is, I believe it's free if you're a PlayStation Plus member. I'm not sure about that, but it is pretty cheap nowadays. Anyways, thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next review.
You have to prove to them that you have the will to carry out that promise. This lesson comes in 2 parts. Let's start with Europe.
Oh shit. Oculus, come in. You've got incoming. I repeat, Fable has launched.